welcome everybody to the stunning BMW X3. The variant I have with me today is the 20D luxury line. This car is also available with a petrol engine, a 2-liter turbo, which is christened the X330i. But the one I have with me today is the 20D, the famous 2-liter diesel, and in the topmost trim, which is the luxury line trim. Let's see how this car is. Coming to the design theme of this car, I think it's a great looking car. It has something that BMW has been starting off since 1 year or so by putting huge kidney grills on the car. This is one of the first cars to receive that treatment, and on pictures on the internet it seemed really awful. I mean, I was not sure how it would look, and to be honest, I did think it didn't look very good. But in person, I think it looks amazing. It's a stunning car. The huge kidney grills that were highly criticized give it a highly imposing look on the road. Overall, I think it's just a great looking package, and the side profile is just an evolution of the old X3. Nothing too radical. The main changes are in the front and the rear, the tail lights. But I think it's a great looking package, and as usual, you know, BMW always nails the design theme of their car. The BMW adaptive LED, or so these headlights are called as, are extremely good looking on the car, and I think it actually plays a big part in complementing the car's look. They've ditched the round corona rings a long time ago, and now they have sort of hexagonal shape on the headlight, and I think that's something that BMWs have carried it forward, and it looks really good with the LED indicators and the LED rings in the night. I think it gives a really imposing and proper stance at night. It's something I really like. And then obviously they're complemented by fog lamps below the headlight. Coming to the interior of the car, as you can see, it's a pleasant place to be. It's got a 10-inch screen, the big iDrive, which literally controls everything in the car. Then there is some very conventional buttons for the audio, and yes, there is a CD player. In a car that is launched in 2018, there is a CD player, which is really surprising to see that the BMW is sticking with the CD player. Rest, there's the AC controls, which are digital. And then you come to the center console where there are two cup holders. There's a charging socket, as I have a charging socket placed. Then there is the joystick like gear lever, which I mentioned in the X1 review that was missing. This has the joystick gearbox, and I think it really adds the essence to a BMW, because this is what represents a BMW. And I think this being here really finishes the cabin in a very perfect way, and it just lends a BMW typical touch, which I really like, and I think the X1 lacked, but this has it. And similar like the X1, there is the iDrive control, so it controls everything. So either you can control by touch, which the sensitivity is amazing, as I did mention the X1 review as well. But if you're not the kind of guy who likes touch, you can control it with knobs as well. Perfect combination by BMW. And the steering wheel is also perfect. It's not the thin spoke M Sport that the X1 had. This is a new steering wheel theme that has been employed from the G30F 5 series onwards, and I think it's great to hold. The paddle shifts are a little small, but I think not a deal breaker. Overall, it's a great atmosphere to be in, and you know, you can just cover huge miles because the seats are so comfortable, and you can just, you know, spend a lot of hours in this car in a day and you won't tire out. The interior is a great place, the seats are great. Overall, I think it's a great place to be inside. Now I'm behind the wheel of the BMW X3, and in one phrase I can say it's great to drive. Like every BMW, it's great in the corners, it's great in straight lines, it's punchy, the engine is very torquey, the engine is fuel efficient if you drive it sanely. It's the perfect combo for everyday driving. I mean, I've been driving this car now for a few days now, and I think over 700 kilometers now, and I have no reasons to complain when it comes to handling or ride. Yes, a BMW that rides well, exactly. So this car is still coming with run flat tires, which is a downer, but it rides really well. Especially in comfort mode, it rides really well. Although sometimes you can feel on sharp bumps that in comfort mode the car jiggles a lot. You don't get that in sport mode. So currently I'm in sport mode and the car is more planted. Though on big bumps there are big crashing noises which can, really worry you. But otherwise it's not an issue at all. You can drive it in comfort mode every day. Take bumps, no issues. The ground clearance is pretty good at 210 millimeters. You won't scrape anything, that's for sure. I mean, obviously it is an SUV, right? You don't scrape stuff in SUV. But still, just for the record, it's 210 millimeters. So you really can even take it off the road, which I did. And you can actually off-road and get away with it. It's just that good. I took it over some obstacles. It didn't scrape at all. I actually really enjoyed it. I'm taking a big speed breaker right now. No issues right now. And it took it very comfortably. Although I'm in sport mode. Coming to the dynamics, the steering feel is amazing. You put in sport mode. So this car actually has variable factors in there's variable factors where you can change in the steering, engine performance and suspension. So many cars in the BMW, like the BMW X1, didn't have that. It was just changes the steering feel and suspension. This actually has changes in the steering feel and the engine and the suspension, all three. And the best part is you can set individual as well. So there's an individual mode. You can set if the comfort mode, if you want the suspension in comfort but the engine in sport and the gearbox in sport and the steering in sport, you can do that, or vice versa. You can play around with many different combinations and permutations in this car to find the ideal setup that you're looking at. I mean, you can just play around all day to get the ideal setup, and it's actually good fun. I mean, one should really give it a shot, playing around with the iDrive in this car. As I've mentioned, this car has the 20D engine, the 2-liter engine. Now, I'm not saying that it's a slow car. I mean, it still does 0 to 100 under 10 seconds. But this car really begs for the 3-liter, the 30D engine, which is available in the 530D and was also available in the old X3. So it's a surprise why BMW have not provided this in this car. This chassis would be an even better package with that engine. It's surprising BMW has not provided it. The 20D engine is adequate, not slow, but definitely could do with more power, especially in the higher revs when you really feel that the bulk of this car is slowing it down. The same engine, the X1, is very sprightly, but in this you can feel that it's, pulling it down, the bulk is slowing it down. This car also has very intuitive voice command, and I'm really saying this because many cars have voice command these days and they're very useless. This has an extremely attentive and intuitive one. So when I call it out, open sport display.
Sport displays.
And as you can see, it's really attentive, and it just totally took my voice and it opened the sport display in like a second. Show tire pressure.
Tire pressure monitor. Please continue using manual control.
To sum up the BMW X3, well, it's a great car overall. I mean, you can seat 5 in comfort. You can use it for practically everything that you could possibly think of. It's got a spacious 485-liter boot, and it's got a spare tire as well for a change. It rides very well. It's got decent performance on tap, and it returns pretty good fuel economy if you drive it sanely. At 58.9 lakhs ex-showroom, I think it's a very difficult proposition to beat. It stands out from the competition because it's so unique in each way that it comes forward, and I think it's probably right now the best there is in the segment. Kudos to BMW for packaging the car so perfectly, yet maintaining some of its true legacies that a BMW has in this day and age. Overall, I think it's a great package, and kudos to BMW for nailing it in all departments, including the pricing. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye.